Let's test the initial temperature of these heated hand grips. 54.9.
117. Damn, baby, you're hot.
Hey guys and gals, welcome to Garage Gear. I'm JB, and I purchased this set of heated hand grips for my brand new Ariens Deluxe 24. And if you're getting tired of your hands going numb by the time you hit the sidewalk, then lean in for this one. Here's what you get in the box. This kit comes with an instruction manual, your full wiring harness, an LED light adapter, 2 handlebar plugs, your on-off switch, your assorted hardware, some epoxy, your 2 super grippy heated hand grips, and some zip ties. I also went ahead and purchased these 2 bolts. I'll explain these later. This kit is for use on Ariens Compact and Deluxe models, and I'll have this kit linked down below in the description. First step, the manual states to disconnect the spark plug. Next, we're gonna disconnect the current wiring harness from the engine and the headlight. Get your trusty snips. From here, we're gonna cut this zip tie, and this one right here. And there's a teeny tiny one right here. From here, we're gonna disconnect this wire from the engine. And from here, I'm just gonna take this tab and pull up and release it from the transmission housing. Come on. There we go. Then we're gonna snip this zip tie up here, and then this wire connects directly into our flux capacitor. I mean, LED headlight. Let's just open this tab up with this flathead screwdriver, and out she comes. The old wiring harness is now fully disconnected. Don't discard this just yet. Just in case the new wiring harness doesn't work, you'll want to have this as a backup. And to help prevent this video from being disconnected from the YouTube algorithm, would you mind hitting that like button? Thank you very much. Next up, we gotta drill a 1/2-inch hole in the dash. Now stop! You're gonna wanna go ahead and find a spot on your control panel that doesn't have anything at all going on underneath it. You're gonna wanna feel around underneath for a space that's free of any components. Now your dash may vary, and if you're afraid of drilling holes into your dash, consider me that cool neighbor down the street that'll help you get over that fear. And this is gonna look great when it's done. The Silver Sharpie is back! These 2 bolts right here seem to line things up nicely for us, and as I reach around underneath, there is nothing in this space right here, so that's where we're gonna mark it. There. That should do. Measure twice, drill once. I'm gonna start out by drilling a really small pilot hole. Good, that'll get us started. And then from here, this is a step bit, and this will get us to that 1/2-inch hole relatively quick. A little bit more. There we go. Cool, that fits. I'm gonna vacuum up all these metal shards. Reason number 2 to use a vacuum on a snowblower. There's our new hole, and in case you're worried about this rusting, what I'm going to do is coat it with a quick little shot of fluid film. This will prevent rust and corrosion, just like that. Then what I'm gonna do is sneak underneath and just spray from the bottom. Cool. Just gonna wipe off the excess up here, make it look purty. Now what we're gonna do is take our switch, and then we have some lock washers to pop on here, just like that. Then what I'm gonna do is go underneath, guide this through the hole, and then throw on our flat washer, and then our nut on top. From here, I'm just gonna twist it into place, and then I'm gonna simply hold it from the bottom and tighten it right down with a wrench. Cool. That'll do. This switch now is all set. Next up, we're onto the grips. I'm gonna take a box knife and slice these right off. Gotta dig in here. There we go. Cool. And off it comes. Same thing for this other one. Slice in. That should do. Boom. There it is. Next, we're gonna pop in these handlebar caps right on the ends of each of these. And if you notice, there's a little hole in the middle of them. This hole is there to release any pressure when you slide on the new handle grip. So we're just gonna pop these right in. Oh, don't you fight me. Trick is getting them in straight. There you go. Same thing over here. Just pop it in. They go in by hand. You could use a hammer, perhaps. This is why we have gym memberships, right? Slide things in. Good. Now we're all set for epoxy. And just a heads up, they don't give you very much. It's all in there, and there's my thumb. So that's it. I don't get it, Ariens. We already bought the cake, and you're only giving us a drop of frosting. You get more frosting with an easy bake oven. All right, we're gonna open this up. I'm gonna maximize this stuff. And keep in mind, before I start mixing this, you need enough for 2 of these handles. So make sure you use about half on one and half on the other. And also keep in mind that this sets in about 5 minutes, so you gotta act quick. Pull this in here, just like so. Mix it all up as best we can. You're doing a wonderful job, JB. Wonderful job. There's this gray stuff around the ring, and then there's this other part of the epoxy in the center. So you gotta mix this all up. If we press this on down, I think it all just comes together. Yep, that's how it goes. Okay, push the center in, and you can mix your epoxy. Trying to do this all with this 2-inch popsicle stick. Now the manual says to get it all up in the ring, right on the inside here. Get it all up in there, swirl it around. Yeah, we'll get a little bit more. You can kind of see what I got going on in there. It's like you're looking inside somebody's mouth. I'll spread around pretty even. Wipe any excess right off the edge. And take the other one now, paint it around the inside, get some more. And I'm gonna use all of this as best I can. Just scrape the whole container clean. Hey, they're giving it to you, use it. Just get it all coated around the outside, around the outside, around the outside. And that will do. Now remember, we only got 5 minutes to act, so we gotta do this quick. It doesn't matter which side they go on, but when you put it on, what you wanna do is you wanna slide this baby around like so. Just kind of work it into place like that. And as I get closer, what I'm gonna do is kind of wiggle it on, and then the cord has to tuck up into this edge. That should do. I'll get to placing this cord here properly in a minute. Then we're gonna come over here, slide this one on, start twisting it around, work it into place. I believe that is good. Seems to line up just with the other one too. Perfect. Now just a heads up, the manual states that you wanna wait approximately 24 hours before you go ahead and use the unit to allow the epoxy inside these handles to fully harden. Now, I've also previously installed these heated hand grips on my old Ariens Deluxe 28, and the setup was exactly the same. And on that previous set, I used the same epoxy that Ariens gave me. And 2 years later, I was backing the unit up out of a snowbank, and thump, off came the left handle grip. The epoxy inside gave out after just 2 years. And as it came off, I actually yanked on a lot of the wires too, because I was using a lot of force to back the unit up at the moment. So really, the most effective way to really get these to stay on beyond just using epoxy is to anchor them down with some bolts. My Pro 32 has them anchored down. Even my Cub Cadet here with heated hand grips has bolts holding them down. So we're gonna do the same here. Now what I'm gonna install to hold these handle grips on are these 6 30-seconds by 1.5 inch long stainless steel bolts. And then I have some lock nuts that are stainless steel as well to pop on the ends to tighten them down. These will work just fine and not hang down below the handle too much. So I have a 3 30-seconds drill bit here, and I may have to go one step bigger, but there is already a hole on both sides of these heated hand grips. Now, you don't want to drill into any other area because then you're going to affect the wires inside these handles and you'll possibly never heat up again. So we're just going to drill right into the hole that we need, and that's that. I'm going to start drilling, and I want to make sure I'm going down straight, just attacking the metal. There is some plastic inside these handles. Just be careful, keep it right in the center. Take your time. Boom, there we go. I'm gonna go right on down through the other side, and it should just pop right out the other side once it's through. Yep. And as of right now, that hole is not big enough for us. Whoa, giggity. Going up to about a 5 30-seconds here. This should get us through. There we go. Good. Is it big enough now? Yes. Now I'm gonna vacuum these shads out of here. Screws in the top. I'm gonna insert my lock nut on the bottom. And then from here, I'm just gonna take a screwdriver on the top and tighten this guy down. Cool. Perfect. That now looks awesome, and it's not going anywhere. Plus, when I go to back this unit up, my finger actually has something to kind of hook onto. Rather than just pull this way, I can actually grab on and pull now with my finger here to get the unit back. Just an added bonus. Now, let's go do the other side. And perfection. We're gonna clean this all up. New bolt goes in, stick it through, tighten it down, and just wrench it on. Now there's no need to over tighten these. You just wanna get them snug so you don't harm anything in the rest of the handle grip. Now let me lay out this wiring harness here for you. This end is going to connect to our engine. This little tab right here is going to insert itself into the transmission housing, the same place that I ripped the previous one out from earlier. Then we have this zip tie right here, which will link up to our handlebars. Then this first white plug right here is going to go into our right handlebar. Then from here, this black plug, this is going to connect to our LED light. Then we have these 2 more black tabs, and the manual says that there's holes for these underneath the dash. If we see them and they're in good convenient spots, we'll use them. If not, I'll just simply use my zip ties. Then this white plug right here, this one goes to the left handle, and these 2 little plugs, these go to our on-off switch. And this here is specifically called a jumper harness for our LED light. If you have an LED light, you're gonna need this, and this comes in the kit. If you have the halogen light, you do not need this. We have the LED light, so we're gonna insert this, and if you look inside, there's these 2 tiny little metal prongs. It's really easy to bend these, so you wanna take your time inserting this, making sure it goes in nice and smooth, and if it's fighting you, make sure you check it before you click it in like that. And this end right here is going into the LED headlight. So just like I mentioned, we're gonna take this plug and we're gonna insert this right in to the engine first. Boom. Then this little black plastic tab, I'm gonna slide this on down just so it doesn't create any issues here with the wheel rubbing onto it. And we're just gonna drop it right into that hole. Good. This kind of creates a nice shady spot for this wire connection. Then what I'm gonna do from here is start wiring everything up behind the dash and including the headlight before I start zip tying it to the handlebars itself. That way I can make all my connections secure. From here, I'm gonna take my plug from my right handle grip, and there's this little indentation right here. I'm gonna feed it basically behind the dash this way. Same thing over here on this side. I'm gonna insert this underneath. There's a little indent right here. I'm just gonna pull that through just like that. So now we're taking a look at the wiring up here, and we need to get these wires right so there's no contact made. So from here, what I'm thinking is as I pull this lever down, it's safe there, and I bring it in front of this auger lock assembly, which is right here, and then feed the cords back up this way, keeping everything nice and snug. So that way I can constantly pull down this lever and there's no contact made. Pretty much the same thing here on this auger lever side. It will make contact if it's too far forward. So if I bring it down around underneath this bar and then wrap it up this way, it shouldn't make much contact, and there's not a lot of heavy friction going on here between the two either, especially if it's dangling far away. So what I'm gonna do is connect the first white plug up off our wiring harness to our right handle grip. Connect that. I'm gonna wrap these cables around. The next thing we need to connect is our LED plug. And this you want to do slowly. You wanna put this in nice and slow. There's these little tiny tabs inside the back of the LED light, and you wanna make sure that it goes in gently. There's our LED light plug hole in the back there. Again, with the two prongs, you wanna go straight in, push it in until you hear the click. And there we go. Now this little tab right here that would connect into our dash, I don't need it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna snip this off because this will give me the extra added length to connect my cables right here. So I'm gonna snip it right off. Off she comes. I'm gonna take my white plug here. I'm gonna go up over this bar. I'm gonna bring my left handle white plug over to it, connect those. Good. Now this connection is gonna be really hard to see, but these are the two connectors that link up with our on-off switch. So we're gonna get up in there and just put them on each end. It really doesn't matter which one. You can always reverse them if you need to. This is kind of a tricky shot. There we go. We got one prong connected. Then we're gonna take our other one, connect it. Good. Now, up behind the dash, there is a screw right here. This holds on our LED headlight. It mounts it. What I'm gonna do from here is take our wiring harness and this black end where it comes to an end here. I'm gonna pull this up right in the center of the dash. I'm going to then zip tie it, and this is gonna pull everything away, and I'll show you guys here in a second. Boom, just like that. Cool. I have this screw right here, which again holds on our LED light, and I'm gonna bring up this end of our jumper harness, and I'm gonna zip tie this up so that way it pulls our cords tight. From here, zip it tight. Good, just like that. Now what that did for me here is two things. Check this out. It pulled my cord back so there's no contact being made here underneath the auger handle. And then back here, if I use my shifter, it's not bumping into any of these wires. And from here, you can see our white plugs together on the side. And I'm going to take these cords and pull them tight and then zip tie everything together here in the middle. I'm not putting too much strain here on the plug connections. That's fine. It's just enough to get everything out of the way. And good. And we don't have any major rubbing going on here on this side. One last thing I did here is I just took this bundle of cords right here and I just looped it over this corner. It stays put. If I need to, I can always zip tie it around this bolt on the back side. And from here, I'm just gonna take this zip tie, feed it around my handlebar and feed it through. And good. This actually pulls the wiring harness right out of the way so I can pull this freely without any interference. And last step, reinstall the spark plug. All right, guys and gals, our heated hand grips are in place. They're bolted on. All our connections have been made. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go fire these heated hand grips up. All right, before we go out, I have a thermal gun here. Let's test the initial temperature of these heated hand grips. About 54.9.
The light works, that's a great sign. All right, heated hand grips are on. Ooh, they're getting warm already. That was relatively pretty quick. That was about maybe 90 seconds to 2 minutes. All right, it's been about a good 5 to 7 minutes now, and these are significantly warmer than what they were before. My palms feel great on these. I could snowblow without gloves. Let's get a temperature. 117. Damn, baby, you're hot.
Definitely nice to hold on to. We're good to go with that. Now here's a few other tips and tricks to help you out with this procedure. These grips are good for two different kinds of control panels. If you have the dual stick design on the right-hand side of the control panel, this kit will also work for you. If you have the good old Thomas Edison halogen light bulb, you're good to go with this kit. And if for some reason your grips do not warm up, stop the engine and let the whole unit cool off, disconnect the spark plug again, and ensure that all connections have been properly made. Now some may ask, can you DIY this with some other kits? Yes, but I've tried this in the past with some ATV heated hand grips, which cost about 40% less than this kit, and they only lasted about 2 years, and one of the heated hand grips failed to heat up. Then I ended up spending the extra money and putting on a brand new Ariens kit, and it's been working great ever since. Now here's what I like about this kit. The hand grips are durable and they keep my hands really warm, surprisingly even through thicker gloves. This kit took about 50 minutes to install and the instructions were really straightforward. And I gotta hand it to Ariens because instruction manuals are something that they do exceptionally well. Now there's not much, but here's what grinds my gears with this kit. Other than the fact that they give you very little epoxy, the on-off switch should have some labels on it for on and off. This may not seem like much, but for a new user, you might be wondering, is this thing even on? This is how it looks, and it should probably look something more like this that says on and off. The connections underneath the dash are also easy to make, but they're not easy to place to get them out of the way of other components. You're gonna have to jury rig it at times to make sure that there's no moving parts making contact with the wires underneath. Well, I'm just gonna get some heated gloves. Well, you could do that, but you're gonna need to keep replacing those batteries. At least with this, it's a direct connection to the engine and they'll always be warm for you as soon as you switch them on. Now, if you're interested in seeing my full review of this Ariens Deluxe 24, I'll have that video linked down below in the description, as well as my full snowblower rust proofing course to help make your snowblower last a lifetime. For more cool garage gear content, click or tap the screen right here. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the garage.